What is going on, guys? I hope y'all are having a great day. We got an update last night on the second gen. She is doing really well. I'll throw up some pictures right here so you guys can see. She is in the prep process still right now, taking the door handles off, masking off the tailgate. Good thing he took out the tail lights and things like that. He's not skipping anything. I think he is going to take off the hood to paint it as well. You can see in the picture the hood still is on the second gen though right now. I told him to make sure he takes his time with this project. I don't want it rushed. You know, I want it back in a timely manner, but at the same time I want him to take his time and really get it done the right way. So that's what he's doing right now. More news on the second gen here coming up early next week. We should have a lot done. It should be drastically different from those pictures, and only like 3 or 4 more days of work. It should be a lot different. We should start being able to see some paint being sprayed on, things like that. You guys will be updated the entire time. Hopefully I get some time off work and actually go up there and do a little bit of filming. So I'm hoping to get that done as well. But today in the garage, you guys know we did have the first gen down. The first gen did die on us the other day, and she is definitely having an alternator issue. So the alternator is on its way. Not going to tell you guys the company yet. That is going to be a lot more higher quality than the stock alternator on these trucks. This has a stock, I think, Remand O'Reilly special alternator on it right now. Judging by the receipt, I think it probably lasted 20,000 miles or so, and now we're already having to replace it. So we're just going to go ahead and get an aftermarket one that's better from a better company, and spend a little bit more on that one instead of just going with a cheap O'Reilly's Advanced Auto Parts Remand one like the previous owner did. So today what we're going to be doing is we already got our new battery in here. We went to Advanced. You guys seen in the last video we were on our way to Advanced to switch out the red top, make sure it wasn't the battery. We eliminated the battery. It wasn't the issue. So we did, nice little Chevy right there towing some lawn equipment, but we did throw the red top back in and pulled the truck in the garage. We're going to be working on our ISSPRO gauge install today, guys, finishing this up. You guys know we did a lot of dash cluster lights in the last video, just really taking our time doing this the right way so we only have to do it once. You guys know we got our 4,000 RPM ISSPRO gauge right here. ISSPRO, of course, being what I run in my 24 valve, what I've had great success with and never had a problem with running ISSPRO gauges whatsoever. There's a part number for you right there, R8503. And also, if you plan to run this on your first gen, you will need this wiring harness, part number R8912-92. We got our fuel pressure gauge, 40 psi. We do have a lift pump coming for the first gen. It is on its way. Also, injectors already on its way for the first gen. I've already shown these gauges in the last video, so I'm just going to go really quickly. We've got our fuel pressure gauge right here, part number. This is going to be our EGT gauge part number, and then our turbo boost part number. Now, very interesting, the fuel pressure gauge, we're going to go ahead and read our stock lift pump and see how it's doing, see what PSI we get. So it'll be interesting to see what the reading is now stock, and then when we get our lift pump on the first gen, and see how improved our reading on our fuel pressure gets for our ISSPRO gauges. So it's going to be a before and after, a really nice before and after. Our stock lift pump on a 330,000 mile 12 valve, how it's doing compared to our lift pump. You guys have been asking a lot lately, why is the bed still not on the first gen? This is why. We have plans. Everything is coming together. We got the lift pump on the way. We're getting a sump as well for the first gen, so it would not be smart for me to go ahead and throw the bed back on when we knew we were going to put a lift pump and a sump on this truck. It's just going to be a lot easier to install correctly in the garage with the bed off. So got a couple more things I want to do before I throw the bed back on, but that's short term. That's within the next week or so. Lift pump, sump, injectors, and we today are going to finish up these ISSPRO gauges. We will get this done today. We got some wire loom as well, so we can clean up some of these wires that we're going to be running inside the engine bay to the interior. We also, the HID factory, their information will be down below. You guys know I get all my lighting from a 24 valve and the 12 valve from the HID factory. They have all the highest quality products. We got our white LEDs from Philips. If you guys watched the last video on our gauge install with our LEDs, you guys know our AC light, yes, we fixed it, but we had a green LED there instead of a white light LED, so we weren't letting those filters filter the blue and the red and the green in the middle on the AC indicator. So we got a white LED for that to clean that up. I want it to look as stock as possible inside. Also, check out these new 194 bulbs that the HID factory has. I haven't seen these anywhere else. I'm sure there are other places, but this is the first time I'm seeing them. I went ahead and talked to Travis about this. Apparently this is the new 194 bulb. But like I was saying, these are going to be for the wait to start. These are red LEDs. I got 2 blue LEDs as well for the high beam indicator. These are going to be for the check engine light indicators and the wait to start and all of that as well. We're going to match it all up with LEDs, and these are going to be OEM green LED backlit from ISSPRO. So these are going to look really good inside the dash, and we should be able to shape this thing up very well. We're also going to be cleaning up while we have it out our dash. It's just really dirty right now. We're just going to polish it up with some microfiber towels and a little bit of compound there. So I'm going to jump right into getting this done. Enough rambling on. I just really wanted to show you guys what we have going on, update you on the first gen, how it's doing, the alternator issue, and also update you on the 24 valve. So let's jump into work and get something done. Alrighty guys, we skipped quite a bit ahead. I didn't want to show you guys all the wiring, and just, it's tedious, it takes forever to wire and get it done right. I daisy chained everything so it looks like a cluster of wires and a ton of them, but they all go down to one single wire that runs under the, well, there's 3 individually, a ground, a dimmer, and a headlight lamp switch. So all of those are wired. There's 3 running down underneath. And then of course you got all the wires running up from the switches, like the, if you guys didn't see, we got our boost gauge right there, our fuel pressure gauge. We had to use our snubber valve right there plugged into the, until we get our lift pump, which you guys are going to see here very soon. We are having to use the little snubber valve, and with the, you know, tighten it all the way and then turn it back 1/8 of an inch or 1/8 turn. We have that situated, and that's going to be our setup until we get our lift pump, and then of course we'll just get our reading directly from our lift pump whenever it comes in later on this week. And of course we got our EGT gauge ran. I hooked it up to our wire loom right here, and it runs all the way, goes up, zip tied, everything is clean all the way into the firewall. All this cluster is just how, all these wires right here is just how first gens are wired. I don't know why, but it's a rat's nest. Right now we have the batteries charging up, even though they were I had to hook them back up to test, of course, to make sure the gauges were working before I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up everything and, you know, do my final checks. And of course that little drive from the driveway to where it's parked right now absolutely drained these batteries because of the alternator, and that doesn't even make any sense. I'm sitting here saying it, and it literally doesn't make any sense how that drive, the batteries have been unplugged all day long since that drive. Literally as soon as I parked it, I unplugged the batteries, but still battery is already dead. That doesn't sound like, you know, the battery, that's a brand new battery, red top. It shouldn't have died that quick, but it's charging, so I know it's not bad battery, it would tell me. It is charging, it is taking a charge. So I don't know what's going on with that situation. We're getting the alternator fixed anyway. If it's something else or something more than just an alternator, we will cross that road whenever we get there. But thankfully, the battery did stay charged long enough for me to make sure all my gauges worked, and they did. I don't know if I showed you that clip of me turning them on or not. But right now I'm just going to get the gauge cluster all mounted up, hook it up, and then show you guys what it looks like right after I'm done. I may put the dash together tonight, I may not. Just got news that I have to actually work tomorrow and I was supposed to be off, so I gotta wake up in a few hours here and go to work. And so I might have to hit up the dash reassembly tomorrow, but I'll check up with you here in a minute whenever I get these gauges wired up. Alright guys, let's check them out real quick before this freaking battery dies. You guys can see they're all working, they all got power. As soon as we get this truck back up and running, then we'll really be able to tell what these things are going to read at. You guys can see right here, we do have the pillar and all the gauges done up right now. They all work. We just have to get our alternator fixed so that we can show you guys more than that quick clip that we already showed you. So everything, just by far, ISSPRO gauges just exceed the standard in every shape and form. The wiring to the connectors to the sensors where it gets the readings, everything with ISSPRO gauges, I could not recommend them more. I'm going to be leaving a link down below to ISSPRO's site if you want to get more information on their stuff. Definitely check it out if you're needing gauges. Gauges is one of the most important things you can do, one of the best upgrades you can do for a truck. Our tachometer gauge, I think I'm going to go ahead and get the entire pillar that goes on the steering column for our tachometer gauge. We still have to do that video. We still got to put the dash together as well. I was cleaning it up a little bit better today. I just wasn't satisfied with the lens. I needed to clean it a little bit more, but it's good now. So tomorrow, if we get time after work, we're going to go ahead and try to get that tachometer gauge installed or wired up. And then whenever that pillar for the steering column gets here, I'm going to probably order that tomorrow. Everything is coming for this first gen. Everything is about to slam into it. Lift pump, sump, injectors, brand new aftermarket alternator. This truck is going to be running so much better in the next coming days. The injector is going to wake this truck up. Lift pump is going to wake it up. Again, we're going to see what the fuel pressure is at stock, and then we're going to see what it is after the lift pump is installed. So we'll get a great before and after. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like down on this video if you did. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.